Hey, what's going on everyone, it's Flaming Lava here, and almost 2 years ago I did a video with one of my friends, Nintendo James, going over our top 10 Nintendo Switch games, and since then more games have come out that I have played, as well as my opinions on some games have changed, so I think it's time to update that list. Since the Switch is now 4 years old, it's time to update my top 10 Nintendo Switch games. This video will also count third-party games that are on the system that I have played, so without further ado, here's my updated top 10 favorite Nintendo Switch games. Starting off this list at the number 10 spot, we have Luigis Mansion 3. Now, this game has some incredible mechanics and dungeon designs. Last year I replayed Luigi's Mansion 3 in October, and the floor designs and different mechanics still impress me. The floors look unique, the mechanics Luigi has such as Gooigi are used really well in the game, and the bosses are super fun too. The game having a hotel look to it was really cool, and the graphics for this game are phenomenal. The game is easily one of the Switch's best looking games, and the cutscenes look kind of like a movie. This game really was super interesting to me, especially comparing it with the original Luigi's Mansion and seeing how the original had such a simple concept and the Switch version really improved so many things that made the game more interesting to me. Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of those Switch games that has so much creativity and ideas, so I'm glad Nintendo bought the developers that made this game, Next Level Games, because this game is a prime example of the amazing talent and ideas that they have. At the number 9 spot, we have a game that isn't technically a Nintendo game made on the Switch, however it is on the console, and that game is Persona 5 Strikers. Now Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. I love the palaces, battle systems, characters, music, etc. and Persona 5 Strikers was a great sequel to the original. Sure, it's technically a spin-off, but sometimes the gameplay feels even more fun than the regular turn-based battle system that the Persona games have. It's easily the best Warriors game I have played, and you'll still have regular parts of Persona 5 on here, like the fact that the game is split between the metaverse and the real world, despite there not being any confidants unfortunately. Still though, there are some nice events that you get to experience with the Phantom Thieves to make up for not having any confidants. The new characters added to this game as well are really great, and after a year of waiting for this game to be localized, I was not disappointed with what we got. If you love the gameplay of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I highly recommend picking this game up. Almost coming in at the number 8 spot, we have another game that just recently came out, and that was Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Now, I was debating to myself whether to put 3D World or Persona 5 Strikers first, especially since both of these games came out at almost the exact same time, and they were the games that I've most recently beat. However, I'm going with 3D World as the better game because 1, when 3D World came out I was incredibly addicted to this game, and 2, I was way more excited to play this game than Persona 5 Strikers. Anyways, this port from the Wii U fixes some smaller issues from the Wii U, but the big new thing that got added was Bowser's Fury, which is a whole new campaign that makes 3D World like a traditional 3D Mario game. This game has some very interesting level design, and a lot of the levels feel so unique. The multiplayer aspect can also be really fun, and Bowser's Fury is another interesting Mario game in my opinion, taking a mix of Super Mario Odyssey and 3D World. This is one of my favorite Mario games of all time, and Bowser's Fury was a great new addition to this port as a mix-up of Odyssey and 3D World. Check out my review video that I posted recently on my channel if you want an in-depth review I did of the game and my opinions on it. Now here we have one of the most impactful games this past year, especially when it has come to the current pandemic, and that game is Animal Crossing New Horizons. This game came out at the perfect time. Just when everyone was forced to lock themselves inside, Nintendo was just releasing New Horizons, and it's insane how this release timing kind of felt like it kind of predicted the pandemic. Not only that, but because of the pandemic, this game would not have had the major success it is. Anyways, New Horizons is one of the most relaxing games I have played, and even 200 plus hours later, I still play this game a lot, despite a lot of people not playing it due to the game getting repetitive to them. And now, yes, I wish the updates this game gets actually gives us more new stuff instead of just getting stuff from New Leaf added in. However, the new things that New Horizons have, like placing furniture outside and crafting, really make it hard to go back to the older Animal Crossing games. Plus this game looks gorgeous, like wow, it's once again one of the best looking Switch games. Coming in almost at the top 5, we have a game that I am scripting this video is literally going away tomorrow, and that game is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This is a very weird pick because this collection contains my second favorite game of all time, so you would expect it to be higher up. However, I also wanted to look at this as a collection overall. 3D All-Stars is a collection of 3 of Mario's older games, being Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy, added into this one collection on the Switch. And honestly, this was a dream come true to me. However, this collection barely changes anything for having it be the full price of a regular Switch game, and it's a bit hard to justify spending the price of it, especially we can easily emulate these games. 3D All-Stars only has the soundtracks of the games for extra content, and I really wish they put more effort into this collection, such as updating minor things in the game more, and adding things like maybe an art book or scrapped Mario content, or some behind the scenes stuff, just something to make this feel more like a tribute to Mario. However, despite its disappointing lack of new content and its laziness, this still has some of the best games of all time, and Galaxy looks amazing on the Switch. So yeah, it's definitely a weird game to put on this list, however at the end of the day, it was a dream come true to me to see these games on the Switch. So here we are at the top 5, and my 5th favorite Switch game is none other than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This game has had to appear somewhere on this list, and I think putting it as the 5th best Switch game seems right to me. Now, Smash Ultimate's character roster is insane. There's so many classic characters you wouldn't think you would have in a crossover game, but they do appear, and we still have 2 more fighters to look forward to. This is easily the biggest roster of any game I've seen. Now Ultimate really has so many different franchises in it, and it's really introduced me to playing some of them such as Xenoblade and Persona, as well as getting me interested in trying some out later on, such as Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. The online for this game, while it's not amazing, it's still sort of fun to play when it works, and same goes with playing Smash with friends. This game is honestly a celebration to gaming as a whole, and it's still insane how many franchises are in this one fighting game. Okay, so the next 4 games are actually in my top 10 favorite games of all time, and starting off, we have a game that I just recently played at the start of this year, and that game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now this game is sort of hated within the Xenoblade community, however I absolutely love this game. The characters are amazing, the story whilst not as good as Xenoblade 1 is still amazing, the combat is really great and the soundtrack is phenomenal. Xenoblade 2 has fantastic characters and you can easily tap so many hours into this RPG. I do have a few problems with this game, like how things like doors are restricted to skill tree parts so you have to grind those, and the blades being a gacha based system. However, other than that, this is a game that so many people need to try out at some point. I even bought the DLC for this game recently, Torn of the Golden Country, and it's still really great and kind of tragic if you've played Xenoblade 2. Whilst people sort of hate this game, you really need to understand the battle system in order to enjoy this game, even if it's not for everyone's taste. And just recently, since Pyro and Mythra got into Smash, I've just enjoyed this game more than I have before. So here we have my top 3 favorite Nintendo Switch games. My 3rd favorite Switch game is none other than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What is there to say about this game that hasn't been said already? This game is probably one of the most revolutionary games to ever exist, and Breath of the Wild did what Ocarina of Time did when that game released. It once again drastically changed the Zelda formula. The open world in this game is incredibly fun to walk around in, and you can easily suck in hours into this game exploring. The shrines are all really fun to complete, the soundtrack is amazing and perfectly complements the open world of this game. Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece of a game, and easily the most iconic Switch game. I really cannot wait to play its sequel to this game, whenever that releases, and it's easily one of my favorite games of all time. Alright, so here we go, my second favorite Nintendo Switch game. Now this is a game I really did not expect to like this much when I first bought it. In fact, I was almost going to drop this game, however, I still stuck through at the end and beat this game. And that game is none other than Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Wow, what a masterpiece of this game this is. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is a remake to the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, and the story of this game is easily the best of any game I've ever played. There's so many twists and turns into the story, and it's truly amazing. The characters, whilst not as good as Xenoblade 2, are still decent, and the combat as well can be pretty fun. But the game's story is what really makes this game so amazing. The Switch remake even added a new sequel type story expansion being future connected. Whilst it is pretty short, it was a nice bonus for the remake and was still pretty cool. This game is what made me get into the Xenoblade franchise, and I have to thank Smash Bros for making me try this game out. However, there still is one more game that I think is even better than this game, and that game is actually my favorite game of all time. Alright, here we go, the moment you all have been waiting for. My favorite Nintendo Switch game. And that game is none other than Super Mario Odyssey, which is also my favorite game of all time. Now yes, this game has its flaws, and I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me saying that this is my favorite game of all time, but honestly I don't even care. Odyssey is a phenomenal game to me. The kingdoms are all fun to explore, collecting moons is fun, and the controls of this game are incredibly smooth. Easily the best Mario's controlled in any of his 3D games. Cappy is a great companion, and I still remember the memories of buying this game on launch day back in 2017. I was so happy buying this game. The first experience playing this game was simply amazing to me. This game has so much detail as well, and in my opinion it's easily the best tribute Nintendo has done to Mario as a character. Yeah, that's right 3D All-Stars, you want a celebration of Mario, because the celebration of Mario to me is Super Mario Odyssey. This is a game that really needs to have a sequel at some point, and I hope Nintendo makes one because this game is just incredible to me. So yeah, that is today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please leave a like, subscribe, follow me in all my social medias, link in the description below as always, and tell me you guys what your favorite Nintendo Switch game is in the comments. I would love to know what your guys' top 10 favorite games are. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.